Changing a bike tire is a handy skill every cyclist should have. Here's a step-by-step tutorial on how to change a bike tire. Materials you'll need. 1. Replacement tire tube. 2. Tire levers, plastic or metal. 3. Bike pump. 4. Wrench, for some types of axles. Step 1. Prepare your workspace. Find a clean, flat surface to work on. Make sure your bike is securely positioned, either by leaning it against a wall or using a bike stand if you have one. If you're on the road, pull over to a safe spot away from traffic. Step 2. Remove the wheel. If you're changing the rear tire, shift your bike into the smallest chainring and smallest rear cog. This will make it easier to remove and replace the wheel. Use a wrench to loosen the nuts or quick release lever on the axle. For bikes with quick release levers, simply open the lever to release the wheel. For bikes with nuts, use a wrench to unscrew them and remove the wheel. Step 3. Deflate the tire. If the tire is not already flat, use the valve cap or a small tool to depress the valve and release the air from the tube until it's completely deflated. Step 4. Remove the tire. Insert one of the tire levers under the edge of the tire, hooking it onto one of the spokes. Carefully lever the edge of the tire over the rim, but be cautious not to pinch or damage the inner tube. Leave the tire lever in place to hold the tire's edge away from the rim. Insert a second lever a few inches away and repeat the process. Continue this process around the tire until one side is completely off the rim. Step 5. Remove the inner tube. Gently pull the inner tube out from inside the tire, being cautious not to damage the tube further. If you're replacing the tube, inspect the tire for any sharp objects or debris that may have caused the flat. Remove the cause if you find one. Step 6. Install the new inner tube. Inflate the new inner tube just enough to give it some shape but not too much, so it's easier to handle. Place the valve stem through the hole in the rim, and then work the rest of the tube inside the tire. Step 7. Mount the tire. Start mounting the tire back onto the rim near the valve stem. Use your hands to push the tire bead onto the rim. Be careful not to pinch the tube between the tire and the rim. It's often easier to do this step without tire levers. Step 8. Use tire levers, if needed. If the tire is too tight to mount by hand, you may need to use tire levers to gently pry the tire bead over the rim. Be cautious not to pinch the tube while using the levers. Step 9. Check the tire bead. Once the tire is mounted, carefully inspect both sides to ensure the tire bead is properly seated inside the rim, and there are no areas where the tube is pinched. Step 10. Inflate the tube. Use a bike pump to inflate the tube. Be sure to inflate it to the recommended pressure as indicated on the side of the tire. Check both sides of the tire to ensure it's evenly seated on the rim while inflating. Step 11. Reattach the wheel. If you remove the wheel, slide it back into the frame or fork dropouts. Tighten the axle nuts or close the quick release lever, making sure the wheel is centered and secure. Step 12. Test the tire. Give the tire a spin and check for any wobbles or irregularities. Make sure it's properly inflated and that there are no visible issues. You've now successfully changed a bike tire. It's a valuable skill to have, especially when you're out on a ride and encounter a flat tire.